Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi. To my right, the Swami George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. We start off the new year with our first show. We wish all of you out there a happy new year. And we start today in memory of Rick Galante, who passed away last week at the age of 66. Star quarterback for Butler in 72, led the Tornado to a 7-1-1 record in the old Midwestern Conference. And in those days, as well as you know, Albert, you could have a record like that and go nowhere because of the Gardner points. That team gave up only like a touchdown a game. He went on and lettered at Clarion University as their quarterback. He was a star baseball player, making all conference in the Midwestern Conference in football and baseball. Drew a lot of attention from the scouts, in particular the Kansas City Royals. Our condolences to his mother, his sisters, his son, and the entire Galante family. Let's go to Spotlight. Our top scorers, boys basketball. Boy, things are heating up. Devin Carney and Butler had games of 35, 23, and 20. Alexander Roth, Elwood City, continues to roll with 35 points. How many times did he hit 30 this year, Albert?
No, Joseph's the one who usually hits 30. That's
okay, they're taking
he's
turns.
Capable. He's a shooter.
Okay.
Alexander's a really good shooter, yes.
Okay. Ryan Lang and Knock, 24 and 20. Max Hurry and North Catholic, 23. Andrew Matalone and North Catholic, 23. Matt Greger of North Catholic, 22. What's that tell you about the Trojans? Mm-hmm. Three guys right there. Cade Norris, Seneca Valley, 22. Javon Brickner of Beaver Falls, 22. Zach Schlegel of Mars, 22. Chris Dvorak of Mars, 21. Tasso Safanos of Mars, 21. And Joey Dudkowski of Pine Richland, 21. For the girls, the top scorers, Olivia West of Seneca Valley, 31 and 23. Corianne Hauser of Rochester, 25. Maddie Boyer of Knock, 24, 22, and 21. Emma Johns of Carn City, 23. And Catherine Kelly of Montauk, 21. And in wrestling, the Butler wrestling team won the 2019 Southmoreland Holiday Tournament. Let's go to our power rankings. High school basketball, the boys, I may be off a game or two here. In 6A, North Hills at the top, undefeated 6-0, followed by North Allegheny, 8-0. Bethel Park, Upper St. Clair, and in 5th place, Pine Richland, Fox Chapel, and Butler. Big week this week for North Allegheny. They're at Butler this Tuesday, January the 4th. The Coaches Roundtable, Armstrong, will be there to bring you that game tape delay. And then North Allegheny hits up with North Hills on Friday night. So big week for both those things, and a big week for Butler, too. In 5A, Laurel Highlands, Penn Hills, both undefeated, followed by Newcastle Mars and Highlands. In 4A, Bell Vernon, North Catholic, Quaker Valley, Montour, and Lincoln Park. You know, I mentioned Bell Vernon. How often do teams have a great year in football followed by another great year in basketball?
Well, they have the same player leading them. That's why Whitlock's that good.
Whitlock.
Yeah,
is he committed anywhere yet? Is it a Mid-American
I haven't seen
school?
that. I haven't seen that.
I heard Mid-American somewhere was interested. And in 3A, Elwood City at the top, followed by Neshannock, Avonworth, Laurel, and Seton LaSalle. And in 2A, Olsh, Carleton, Fort Cherry, Burgettstown, and Jeanette. And 1A, Union of Newcastle, followed by Aquinas Academy, Leechburg, Bishop Canavan, Imani Christian. Don't let that record fool you about Bishop Canavan. They're 2-3, the defending 1A champs.
Yes.
They've played nothing but 5A and 6A teams.
Well, they're a major favorite.
Yeah.
Canavan's even though I understand you can't rank them because of the record.
Yeah.
But if you rank them by who's favored to win,
right,
Canavan's favored to win.
You know, they took Butler down to the wire before losing 82-77. Yeah. They lost to undefeated Penn Hills,
yes,
and a few other 5A and 6A teams I don't remember.
Big favorite. Big favorite.
Yeah.
There's the huge drop between 6, 5, 4. 1A, they will dominate.
Yes. And for the girls in 6A, Upper St. Clair undefeated at the top, followed by North Allegheny, Mount Lebanon, Norwin. Seneca Valley surging at 6-3. They're having a terrific year. They're 3-0 in section play.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for.
Want to get better this time of year, Eddie.
Yes.
So many people play early, play pretty good. Then all of a sudden they hit section play, they go down the tubes. I like the other way around. Play your best now and play your very best in February.
And you know, too, you've been around long enough. there's a difference when you're playing teams that are familiar with you. Playing them twice a year, year in and year out, those games are different than when some guy pops in your holiday tournament and you go, who's got 27? Big difference.
Yes, and in 5A, it's Char Valley Moon, undefeated at 8-0, Hampton, Mars, South Fayette, and Trinity. In 4A, Blackhawk, Highlands, McKeesport, Bell Vernon, and Knock. And in 3A, it's North Catholic, Avonworth, South Park, Laurel, and Brownsville. And in 2A, it's Neshannock, Apollo Ridge, Sarah, Burgettstown, and Seton LaSalle. And in 1A, it's Union of Newcastle. Boy, both the teams are good. Clareton, Eden, Christian, Cornell, and West Green.
The girls, when you describe the girls' team, it looks like 6-5-4-3-2, the number one team, is way better than the next group. I'll be surprised that you won't say that all year.
And that Union's
yes.
real surprised with the girls.
Sing
Is
away,
it a
though.
surprise with their girls?
No, they were not. They were awful.
But they had
for
girls move- they
they've
had
had,
girls move.
yeah, we know.
Yes.
But the point is, that's a shocker.
Yeah,
It is.
Stan's
They're
team,
undefeated.
Yeah, they have they had a great player years ago. Played when I came to Silver, his daughter.
yeah. When somebody moves into a single A school,
Yeah.
that elevates you so quickly.
It makes significant difference.
Yeah, it's so quickly.
Our stories of the week. Let's go to the NFL. The Steelers are still alive. Wasn't what you would call an artistic game. 26-14 win over the Browns. The Steelers 8-7-1. The Browns now 7-9 after a 3-1 start. Roethlisberger was in his final home game, 24-46 for 123 yards. Guys, that's less than 3 yards per pass attempt. 1 TD, 1 interception. The star of the game was Najee Harris, 186 yards rushing on offense, and defensively, the Steelers 9 sacks against the Browns offensive line, supposed to be one of the best. Did they switch with the Steelers before the game? TJ Watt with 4 sacks.
If he didn't get the defensive player of the year last night, he's never going to.
He's never going to.
He got it last night on
it.
national TV, I would think.
And a nice win for the Steelers and Baker Mayfield, guys. 5 batted passes. He leads the league with 47 batted passes. He had 2 interceptions, 16 of 37 for 185 yards. In his 4 years, he wants this big contract. He's thrown 56 picks.
He's not getting it.
Yeah, my theme, Eddie, is use your theme. You didn't hit it hard enough. The game was decided in the pits.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I know you had your Ram, but Pittsburgh's offensive line played their best game of the year, and Cleveland's offensive line was injured. And without them being able to run the football, they're a running team.
Let me say that about you when you say running the football. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong. Nick Chubb had 12 carries, 58 yards. It wasn't the Steelers' defense that stopped him. It was Kevin Stefanski, his coach, who stopped him. Well, this guy's a power runner between the tackles. Why are you trying to run these wide sweeps with him when he hits hard between the tackles? They stopped running him.
I've watched them play before, and he's been successful when they've stopped running. They have former players on Twitter
Green Bay,
saying,
George.
run the ball.
I
They're
was
former
against
players.
And Green Bay, they ran for 201 yards rushing. He ran for like 12, 14 yards, got into the red zone. He had Baker Mayfield throw a pass that was
Usually I don't agree with you. You know
it just
that.
drives me
Yeah.
nuts.
I'm agreeing on this one.
Yeah.
Cleveland is made to run the football.
What Chubb averaged?
That's why you get
yards
a great offensive line.
He averaged
And
5
him.
yards a carry.
Yeah,
What
so,
do you think it's up smarter than you think?
I don't know what it is. I just know he's one of those young coaches that everybody's raving about again. They're raving about all these young coaches that aren't winning.
You know, when you say that, I was high on Stefanski last year, but I think this team has fallen so far back. I'm questioning at times. I understand Mayfield was injured, but at some point, you leave him in there. He's had some terrible 2 games with 15 picks this year, 47
He's
batted
not
passes.
playing this week. 4-8 down the stretch.
4-8 down the stretch. And at some point, your players lose confidence in the quarterback, especially on that defense was out there the entire game. And eventually, when that happens, then they start pointing the fingers at the coach.
Mm-hmm. That's what happens.
Yeah, I have a friend who has a player on the Bears, and he said the defensive guys are literally yelling at the coaches when they're out there doing their stuff. It's bad.
So he has one more year. He gets $18 million. He wants a 3-year,
He's not
$90
getting the
million
big-
deal.
no chance.
What do the Browns do? Did they draft a quarterback? Where do they go? He's not a Super Bowl quarterback. He's very average.
Yeah, I have no idea where they go because there's not a lot of Super Bowl quarterbacks out there.
No,
That's the problem.
And
They don't sign him off trees.
They'll bring him one more year because he's
coming back.
Can get
18
him.
million.
But that
coming back.
that merry-go-round that goes, he gets 35. It's not coming.
Right.
Why is there such a reluctance to when he's struggling like that to pull a quarterback and sit him down?
I think picking him first gives him cachet.
I just think the players are saying, "Come on, coach, what's going on here?" They have no vertical threat.
That's another reason they don't have any receivers either. So that's I know Mayfield's played bad, but they really,
The line let him down too.
They have no receivers. When I mean not.
See, what I don't like, it makes Beckham look like he was right. He goes to the Rams and catches balls.
Well, it's true
Yeah.
though. He is better.
Well,
than those
and the
guys.
other thing is this: when a team's blitzing like the Steelers, one way you could tell that blitz is with a quick slant or the quick stay out pass. They did none of that.
I think they tried to. They knocked down 5 of his passes. They knew what was going on with the lanes, the passing lanes.
They just stood. Watt just stood there at
Couple
times, just
times,
waited
yeah.
for him to throw the ball. And another interesting game: Cincy 34, Kansas City 31. The Bengals win the AFC North. Quarterback Burrow throws for 446 yards, 4 TDs. Jamar Chase, 11 catches, 266 yards. I think this is the best group of receivers with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and the guy who gets neglected is the tight end, Uzoma. They're just terrific, and I can't understand why the Chiefs were staying with press coverage the whole game. Did they talk to Narduzzi before the game?
Well, Chase put a show on that day. You usually don't see pros look way better than defensive backs.
Yeah.
He looked better than everybody.
A couple of
on the
those
field
were
that game.
runs out too.
Right.
I mean, it goes in the book as 62 yards,
He just
but it
takes
was
off.
throw
Yeah.
12 and run 50.
My only question about the Bengals, a terrific offense. Can their defense be good enough to, if they could hold teams in the playoffs to between 20 and 24 points?
They
boy,
can be.
They have a chance
Well,
to
they
go
have a chance.
far.
No, that's Kansas. Don't forget they played Kansas City, who's high powered.
Yeah.
So they've been good. They've been pretty good all year. They're in the top 20. They're in the top 10 in defense. It's like Cincinnati's on the bottom. They're pretty good.
An interesting game. The Rams 20, Baltimore 19. Fifth straight loss for Baltimore. What guys? They've lost 5 games by 10 or 11 points total.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. No one cares though
No.
in the NFL about their injuries and losing close games. They need so much help. They have the Steelers coming up next week in Baltimore. I know Baltimore is out of it, but
They'll play 'em.
they'll be ready
They'll
for the
play 'em.
Steelers
They're
without
favorite.
question.
I'm surprised they're favorite.
Yeah, they're favorite.
The NFL is a touchdown field goal league. That's what it's become. And see, Baltimore with Jackson used to score touchdowns down there. Now they don't score any touchdowns. It's all field goals, and it's hard to win games in the NFL. We just kick a field goals.
Field goals for some teams, not for all. We'll get there. Hey, Arizona 25, the Cowboys 22. I was impressed with them going on the road. They finished 7-1 on the road this year. Kyler Murray, not only 2 touchdown passes, but terrific key runs to keep drives alive.
Well, if Hopkins comes back, they're very dangerous. I don't know. George, have you heard anything? Is he coming back or not?
No,
But if he
I
comes
haven't
back,
heard. I
they're
haven't heard
dangerous.
yet.
Yes.
Hey, I know this. He brought the skates out Sunday. He was flying around there. He hadn't been running like that,
No.
Kyler Murray.
And the other, Cincy at Cleveland, I look for this to be a beatdown.
Well, that hard. It's hard to believe Cleveland wants to play after last night. Yeah.
And maybe you rest Burrow, too, possibly, for Cincy.
No, Cincinnati still has to play. Cincinnati still has to. They still have a chance to get those.
They
numbers.
won the
Won.
division, but for the seeding.
No,
seeding,
yeah,
yes,
if
yes.
Kansas City were to
Yes.
lose and Tennessee were to
Lose, they get the number 1
Yeah,
seed.
so they have to
which
play,
is a
yes.
bye. There's only
Yes.
one bye.
Tampa Bay comes from behind to beat the Jets 28-24, but the real story there was a meltdown by Antonio Brown. God, is this? Let me ask you: Is this a mental health
Oh, no
issue,
question.
or is he just a bad guy to
No,
have
he's a
in the
mental
team?
health question. No question. That wasn't nothing derogatory. He was nuts. That's just prove you're nuts. You take your shirt off, run through the end zone. He's truly.
And whoever the crowd up like you're a home
no,
guy.
he's truly mental.
Yeah, and then of course he's had other instances where he beat up the delivery guy.
Yeah.
on
He's truly
Bernie
furniture.
K, the cook,
Just
his
He's nuts.
food guy, he wouldn't pay him. Hey, how about this? This is how strange. He was within touching reach of 3 bonuses that added
one
$1
for
million.
$1 million.
Yeah,
He
three,
needed
three,
50
three.
more yards.
Yes.
For $1 million bonus.
Yes.
Clinching the division in the AFC, Tennessee in the South, Cincy in the North, the Chiefs in the West, and in the East, New England and Buffalo, they're tied. It comes down to this weekend with, I don't think Buffalo has a very tough game. New England plays Miami.
Yeah, there's no question about that. The AFC is wide open. Just all those teams you named, anybody can win the AFC.
And if you look at the Steelers, if they do beat Baltimore, that if Tennessee gets the bye, then the Steelers are either going to go to Kansas City or Buffalo.
Yeah, I've always said I think Buffalo's going to win that. I've said it all along. I never back off what I say. The AFC is that wide open, though.
It is wide open. And in the NFC, Green Bay wins the North, and they have the number 1 seed. Tampa Bay the South, Dallas the East. The Rams 12-4, Arizona 11-5. That'll be sorted out this week. Rams have a tough game with Frisco. Frisco always gives them trouble, in Seattle at Arizona.
Frisco and the Rams really is a playoff game.
Yes.
It's a playoff game for them.
It's a big game.
For the 49ers.
Hey, guys, coaching changes at the Giants. Joe Judge, does he stay or does he go?
He's staying.
Keeps talking, he's going to go. What was he doing?
I don't know what he's talking
Did you hear
about.
him yesterday? 11
This is not
minutes.
a clown operation.
What, buddy? Be thankful they're bringing you back, because if they fire the GM, you're next.
The Bears with Matt Nagy.
He's gone. He's gone.
Minnesota with Mike Zimmer.
He's gone.
And Seattle with Pete Carroll.
He's gone.
Retiring.
He's done
They'll
himself.
give him his own.
That's three.
They'll give him
right there.
dignity, won't they?
Yeah, I think so, Pete.
Jacksonville, goodbye and good riddance to Urban Meyer.
No.
So it was just I have no better way to put it. He was just a jerk as a coach this year for them.
Sounds
No,
like
a
it.
good way to describe him.
The guy I like to get the job is Jim Caldwell.
We've talked about
3
him.
straight
Yes.
winning seasons with the Lions, 11-5, 9-7, 9-7. The guy's a good coach, and the guy deserves a shot. The offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay that Tom Brady just loves, former Steeler quarterback Byron Leftwich.
Isn't he a natural in Jacksonville
Yeah.
with the young quarterback? I would think. But I look Caldwell's record up at the Colts and Detroit. It's even better.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
I think he's going to get
Boy,
the
did
job.
he get messed over.
Hey, our power rankings, boy, they changed. It's Green Bay at the top, followed by the Rams, have been hot lately. Tampa Bay, still like Kansas City, Arizona, Cincy, Dallas, Tennessee, Buffalo, and New England.
Yeah, the NFC at the top. That's what most people were saying that too.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens. The playoffs coming up the last week. The playoffs are terrific. Hey, let's move on to college football playoffs. A thud and a dud. In the Bama just crushed Cincy 27-6. I texted George during the first quarter. I said Cincy's not going to score in this game. They dominated the lines, both sides of the ball in the trenches, and they just controlled that game from the get-go. There's no doubt about it. And one thing about Saban, pro coaches may pass up field goals. He doesn't.
Hey, well, I ask you guys, when do you think in that game the 2 Alabama Lions realized lunch meat?
It can't beat us.
There's no way.
They can't block
They-
us.
no, they had to
They
know.
would shove the ball down their throat. And then Georgia 34 and Michigan 11 before the game. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh said, let her rip. I think Georgia heard him. His team didn't hear him because Michigan looked listless, uninspired, and just like Bama, the Bulldogs ruled the trenches.
Well, you said it best. And on recruiting day, George and I have been saying on all our shows that everybody looks at the quarterback signees, the wide receivers. All you do is take a look. Who has the best lineman signees? And every year it's Alabama and
You
Georgia.
you're not going to recruit them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So they dominate right here. They dominate line of
Look, I'm
scrimmage.
saying here too, Harbaugh's the Raiders coach next year.
that
I'm
right?
Say it right here.
Say
Say that again.
Harbaugh to the Raiders.
You think Jim
Michigan
Harbaugh?
Harbaugh. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Put Jacksonville and the Jets in the ACC and put Bama and Georgia in the NFL. So here we come up.
I heard today say, but since 2011, 106 players to the league.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And so you come up the game with Georgia. Georgia, even though Bama beat them up in the SEC championship game, Georgia favored by 3. You're confident about Georgia. I give him a 25% chance of winning. Kirby Smart's 0-4 against Saban. He's 25-1 against former assistants. What do you see in this game?
Very
Georgia?
confident Georgia.
I think it's needed for college football, really, to get someone else. Georgia
Would be
last
good.
won the crown with.
Be good if some other league won.
It's 40 years since Georgia won a national
41,
championship with Herschel Walker.
No, and they need another league to win badly.
It's not going to happen.
I don't know where it's going to happen because of the recruiting.
I'm telling you, it's not happening.
Yeah, it would take a team to have a couple of phenomenal recruiting years.
And they can't. Because Alabama's number 1 and Georgia's number 2 every year. I mean, I'm talking about every year. All the services can't be wrong. It's Alabama, Georgia, Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah, what's the difference
Yes.
if they're 1, 2, or 3?
Yes.
Yes, and the college football playoffs, blowouts are the norm, and that includes Bama. They got blown out by Clemson. Ohio State's blown out teams. They've been blown out. Clemson got blown out by LSU. I could think of only 2 games in a playoff system that were interesting, close down to the wire: Auburn and Oregon, and then Bama and Georgia a few years ago.
Wasn't Auburn and Oregon the old way, though?
It might have been
That
the old
was in
way.
BCS.
I was in 2014 or 15.
Yeah, that was the BCS. That's the other
but
thing.
other than that, the games have been
Now they want to
blowouts.
add 12. What's it going to change?
So I'm glad you brought that up. I think there'll be more blowouts. They expanded to 8 or 12.
Well, I said back to 2. I told George I want to go back to 2 again. That's what
I wouldn't be against it. I would not budge from 4 though.
They're not going to, but I said I just know the semifinals cannot play. They're the worst games. Sometimes you get a decent game in the finals. Semifinals, it's like this, Eddie. It'd be like Green Bay right this year. If you said Rodgers is coming back and we're going to give you the 5 best free agents,
And who's winning?
that's what happens in college football. Here's Saban coming back with Young coming back, and then we get 5 more free agents coming in, the best players.
Doesn't matter.
It's I waited till I say I want to get everything ready and watch these games. And both games by the first quarter, I said I lost interest.
They were awesome. They were the kind of
No, I
games.
watched old Chicago PD reruns on the other channel. No, because second
I
quarter.
quit watching.
No,
I just
you texted me second quarter. You said this is over. I
Time for a movie.
Well, I give him a thumbs up. What am I going to say?
yeah. Hey, bowl games of note, but local teams: Michigan State 31, Pitt 21. I came home. Pitt was leading 21-10 8 minutes to go. I said they got this in the bank. Bingo. They were looking to tie the 76 team with 12 wins. They lose 31-21. And then these are 2 teams with outstanding records playing in the Mercedes Dome in Atlanta, which holds what, 80,000 or 90? The game attendance was 41,000. Very disappointing, which is true of a lot of the bowl games.
You know what I
The
liked in that
attendance
game?
was down.
I liked the backup quarterback.
Nick Patty.
Oh,
The backup out, right?
No, not the backup. I
Oh,
didn't,
the
like him.
backup.
I didn't like him at all.
I mean, Patty that got hurt.
Patty, the one
Yes.
who got hurt, took him right down the field, ran past.
Yeah.
I was impressed with him.
Wow.
So
I don't think
I'll tell you-
he may not stay because they got
probably won't.
Keaton Slovis.
He'll play someplace though. He'll play
from
someplace.
Hey,
USC.
And another thing, you talk. I know Slovis is good. He can't move at all.
He's not a
Right.
mover.
If
He's
they
not a
think
mover.
they're getting another Pickett, I got news for them.
And then they got Akron freshman wide receiver Kanata Mumfield, a freshman who caught 63 passes for 751 yards. He's in a transfer portal. And then I was shocked to see a 3-year start at linebacker Cam Bright is
He
leaving.
left. They thought he was going to the NFL, and he's going to another
It's
school.
happening everywhere.
Where's he going
It's happening
now?
everywhere. I don't know.
But they
It's
got a
happening
good
everywhere.
linebacker from Virginia to take his place. Kid had 10
Just
tackles
keep
against
switching
him.
around. Just switching around. Yeah.
And West Virginia, they lose 18-6 to Minnesota. No effort there. They finished 6-7, a disappointing season. Arkansas 24, Penn State 10. Where coach wants the college football playoffs to be expanded. Coach, you better worry about what you're doing at Penn State. The Razorbacks ran for 346 yards. Penn State started this year 5-0. You know that at one point they were number 5 in the country, and then they finished 7-6.
And you know what else has happened to them? It's bad. After halftime, it seems like something changes. I don't know if there's an adjustment or whatever, but they're not making them.
Well, Franklin has to decide. He's 11-11 in the last 2 years. It's pretty mediocre for a so-called power team in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Hey, National Hockey League, the Hot Pens winning 8 straight after a long break because of COVID through the National Hockey League. They win 8-5 over San Jose. Hat tricks by Brian Russ and Evan Rodriguez. They're 4th in the Metro, 18-8-5. That's from moving up from last place up. No Olympics for the National Hockey League and Coach Sullivan because of the surging COVID and the cancellation of many National Hockey League games. They're going to stay out of the Olympics in China.
Yeah, one of the things I talked to Matt, our Penn Groover, before the show, and 2 things stood out to me when I talked to him. Number one, need a lot of luck. They sign guys not expecting this to happen. I mean, he's got.
Rodriguez has been pleasant.
You get Rodriguez, you're thinking, oh, he can skate. Maybe he can give us a little. He's been unbelievable. And the McGinn kid he talked about is one of those rugged guys that stands in front of the net and gets things done. There's a lot of luck. Sometimes you make a big signee and you stink Johnson, and then you sideline. We'll take that guy.
I think Sullivan's
You know.
the best coach in the National Hockey League.
Wow, that's saying
I
something.
think does a great job. Hey, high school football, WPIL guys, Norman and Hempfield, they're leaving 6A.
It's amazing.
They're dropping to 5A, leaving 6A with just 5 teams. Guys, that's only 4 league games. They need to schedule 6 non-conference games. And once again, someone said to me, well, what's the WPL going to do? I said, WPL has nothing to do with it. It's state. The
numbers were down, too.
Numbers
They
are
were down,
down.
yep.
And there's an issue there with the Votex attendance.
Yeah, they did it twice.
I said the only thing WPL can do is decide whether they want to stay or leave. You know, they did take a vote a few years ago, and the athletic directors and principals voted to stay within the PIAA. But what do you do?
Wow.
Amy Schoeneman has to be scratching her head. How did they schedule these 5
Because if
remaining
they
teams?
schedule the 5As for them, the 6s won't have anybody to play. And they only have 4, so they have to schedule at least 5.
And some of the 5A say, well, we don't want to play
No,
Central
I
Catholic.
don't want to play.
I don't want to play
Want
Mount
to play
Lebanon.
NA? Good luck.
So that means they got to play teams from West Virginia, Ohio, maybe New
But
Jersey.
once they start, week 2, week 3, they're in the same boat.
Well, play St. Joe's Prep and some of those
They're gonna have to.
schools.
They're gonna have to.
They're going to make.
But you'd have to run over to Camp now. I mean, if you really wanted to.
Yeah, there's teams over there.
There are teams. It's not that far, and there's no school the next day. It could be done.
Well, North Allegheny started off with a team from
absolutely.
Ohio. They got pounded
Wow.
in that game, but
And that's why they don't want to.
yeah. Well, it's a predicament. I don't. What do you do with 6A?
There is
you
no
have
answer.
you have each other play each other twice then?
Oh no! Please don't.
Well,
Please
George,
don't do that.
don't say that won't happen.
Oh.
I mean,
They
because
can.
of the
Doesn't
scheduling
make sense that
problem.
it's going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
I think they have to.
That's not football.
I agree.
I don't know how they're gonna do it.
I know it's not, but look at basketball in 6A.
3
They,
times.
they play each other 3 times.
That's not
Wow.
basketball either. 3 times in 1 year. Then you playoffs, they're talking 4.
Oh, that's for sure.
Hey, and in the final minute or so we have here in the passing, John Madden, 85 Hall of Fame coach, the best analyst all time. He just made the game simple. It was about blocking and tackling and in the trenches. Just did a great job. Sam Jones, how we enjoyed watching him play basketball, 88 10 titles. And Dan Reeves at 77 due to Alzheimer's. 2 Super Bowl rings with the Cowboys. He went and took coaching. He took the Broncos to 3 Super Bowls and Atlanta to 1.
You know, 9.
Just couldn't
I didn't.
win.
I told Al he was in 9, but he did his assistant as
Yeah.
a player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I think he's been overshadowed a little bit.
Yeah, what do you guys remember most about Madden? I always enjoyed listening to him.
Man, for me, is an announcer.
Yeah.
You understand? Like I always thought he was just a good coach, not a great coach. I talked about Noel and him at the same time.
Right.
But as an announcer, he truly got down to having kids, adults, everybody wanted to hear him.
Just did the game as it should be explained.
Like the Manning
Just
brothers
like-
were saying, it was a big deal when he came into your meeting room Friday for that little briefing or whatever.
Yeah, some of these younger guys or analysts should take note of what he did, and the game would be better for it. But that's it for us. Thanks for joining us, the first show of the year, and we'll see you next week.
Level up your internet. Zoom Extreme from Armstrong gives you unlimited data at our fastest speeds available. That means unlimited gaming, unlimited streaming, and unlimited downloading with no fear of overage charges, delivered on our super reliable fiber optic network. But that's not all. Zoom's enhanced Wi-Fi provides complete coverage throughout your home, to the devices that need it most, and it gets better each day. Take advantage of the best value in broadband. Zoom Extreme from Armstrong. The future is faster. The future is now.